Hey everybody, it's Martha. Welcome back to my Shabby Craft Studio. And I have to welcome myself back to my Shabby Craft Studio because I've been absent a while, in case anybody noticed. So, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Hello to any new subbies. I am quickly closing in on 2000. Yay. That's very kind of everybody. Have to adjust my chair, sorry. My bottom in my chair. Okay. So lately I have not been very into the journal making or ephemera making stuff. I kind of got burnt out on it and it wasn't going in a direction that I was really that happy with. So, I decided to get involved in some slow stitching projects of my own. I was doing the 52 tags handmade, but I had a big break because of the stuff that was going on here. And if you don't know about that, you can watch my previous video that I did a week or so ago that explained kind of what's been going on, why I've been absent. So things are sort of settling down a little bit as far as how I'm managing my schedule and my physical abilities and my mental abilities. So I feel like I am able to devote a little bit of time to losing myself in a craft and also maybe getting back to videos. And I've been talking with Robin Powell. Hi, Robin. We've been emailing a lot back and forth. She injured her ankle. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Robin. And she's been on recovery, and we've sort of been emailing back and forth, and we seem to be sort of on the same path as far as what we are feeling as far as journal making stuff. She's not able to get to her journal making stuff right now. It's on a floor that makes it impossible with her ankle in the situation it's in. So, she's been doing a little bit of slow stitching, and we actually have the same slow stitch book, which now I don't know what I did with it because I forgot oh, here it is. We both have the same slow stitch book, which is this one. I mentioned that I had it and I was going to try to follow some of the stitches in here. Now, that being said, I tried one and failed. I had to look up Ariane Zurcher, and she did the exact stitch, and I could understand her even though she's a left-handed stitcher and I'm a right-handed stitcher. I get what she's doing. She explains it really well. Her camera is really, really close. Like her camera is like right on top of everything. So I'm gonna try to just lose myself in some stitching, and I'm really enjoying it. I can do as little or as much as I want to and get up and walk away and know where I left off. I used to cross stitch. It's just too rigid for me. Doing all these fun little different stitches. This one I didn't do too many. I did a fly stitch here. I did a star. I did some knots down here, and I just did running stitches on these and a seed stitch here. But I did it in like colors, so it's not real bold. And then I started another one, and I'm going to put these two together, kind of like that, and I'm going to stuff it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because thanks to Susan Langford at Susie Q Makes, which I will try to remember to link below, I found Scraptastic Patchwork. And she did a video, which I will also link below, that has to do with using your scraps up, doing some slow stitching, which is what all of this is. Well, some of these aren't scraps. Like this was a square that is this size, and I tore into it. But that's okay. You can do that too. If you don't have a lot of scraps, grab the fabrics that appeal to you the most. And then she literally did not sew with a sewing machine around, which you could do if that's what you want to do. But she put them together like this and left one side open. She hand stitched around And of course I have to cut the excess off of here to make it even. But she hand stitched around with just regular thread. It was all a hand done thing. And then she took scraps, like she had little tiny scraps, which I have laying around here and there. But anyway, I used to have a giant bin, like giant bin. When I quilted, I just threw all my scraps in there. Then I sorted through them, threw away the little teeny bits that I couldn't use in much. But something this size, I actually keep. But anyway, she took that excess batting that she had, bits and pieces of batting. I'll link the video. Watch the video. It's very interesting. And then she stuffed all those leftovers in there. You could buy stuffing. You could fill it with steel wool. You could do whatever you want, whatever. But she made pincushions. That's where I'm going with this. I know. You needed the what it was going to be to figure out what you would stuff it with. Anyway. So I did this one the other day. Well, I've been working on this for a few days. Now, this had flowers on it. This flower came out much better than this flower. But after I did this flower, I did this one first, I figured out what I was doing wrong and then corrected it. So I'm keeping it. It's okay. There's depth in there. And then again, I did some running stitch, seed stitch, knots, seed stitch. So this is going to be a little pincushion. And I'm going to see how I like it. It's not little. It's going to be kind of big when it's done. This is a, I think it's a 6-inch square, 5-inch square. And I have a whole batch of these. It's here somewhere. Hold on. I bought this a long time ago when I was quilting. So I have 2 of these left, and they're just cream colored. So I'm trying to use those up. And so you could take a sheet, a pillowcase, whatever you want. Felt, you could do this in felt. It'd be a really cool pincushion. So I have to finish this off. I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to do the green here, but I'm going to take a color. Don't know what color yet. A color. And I think I'm either going to do seed stitch or like a running stitch and then just skip the flowers. I wouldn't do the running stitch over the flowers. And then I'm going to even it out by cutting the edges off with my pinking shears. I like to leave a little bit when I'm working on it, a little bit hanging over, because when you do this much stitching, it sucks the fabric in. And, you know, if you end up with edges showing, that's no fun. So you just have to make sure that you don't stitch, which I did here, but I'm going to have to be very careful. You don't stitch beyond the edge of your base fabric. Okay. I am no expert. I don't claim to be an expert in this, but this is the project I'm working on, and this is what I wanted to share with you. So I'm putting that aside for the moment because I need to put this pin away because I'm constantly dropping them, and they're so tiny. I love them, but you lose one of these in my shag rug that's on my floor in here, and it's all over. I'll step on it to find it, but I won't be able to find it. Now, here's what I was looking for. You see all these scraps? This is from cutting shapes out so I could do, get circles to do Suffolk puffs, which is also known as yo-yos in the US, or hexagons, because I use circles to make hexagons too, because I do the folded hexagons. And I had cut some little butterflies out of this fabric. So this basically, I could take this selvage off and use that on something else. I could sew around this. I started a piece that I'm not happy with. I'm sorry, I was facing away from the camera. I started a piece I'm not happy with, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. But that's what I did there. I stitched on that. But I'm not happy with this. So that's going away for now. If I don't like it, I'm not going to suffer through it because then I just won't work on it. So I have a lot of these scraps that could go inside as the pincushion stuffing. There. All right. So I think you guys, if you watched my last video, this is the one project that I was able to do in the last 7-ish weeks. I started working on it, and I did a bunch of slow stitch. There's some buttons, there's some beads on here. This is one of my hand crocheted flowers, some more beads. This was my first or second door sit button. It's not perfect by any means, but I did it, so it's on there. And I really like this, and I'm loving making these wall hangings. This is what this is. It's not a snippet roll. I have backed it with another piece of fabric, so all the stitches are covered up, except the stitches where I hand stitched it on. And so what I'm going to do, I was talking to Robin, and I think we're going to work on a wall hanging. So Robin asked me if I would do it on camera. Again, I am no expert. Things don't always go right for me, but that's okay, because you know what? You can do whatever you want. So I am doing this video to ask you if you'd like to come along on that journey with Robin and I. Now, Robin does not have a YouTube channel, but Robin will send me photos, and if she wants me to, I can share them with you, which I'd be more than happy to do, Robin. Let me know. Let me know. So, this one, now, the first one I ever did, I did with Ann Brooke. And she was doing a sew, S-E-W, for the soul, S-O-U-L. Now, this one is about, it's a little over 2.5. It's between 2.5 and 2 3/4 as it goes down. Like this part's wider. This is 2 3/4. It's not real even. I'm not picky about that. You know, perfection just creates anxiety. So I am not looking for perfection when I do these. And so you can take any fabric you have. This is a fabric that I use on the ephemera folios. And I'm not making those at the moment. I may start up again, but they're not inspiring. I wasn't having any fun. Tony was helping me, and he wasn't having any fun after several months. They're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. So, but this is the fabric that I use on the binding. And it's a heavy-duty outdoor fabric that I find at Joann's. Now, I will tell you, it's pretty tightly woven. It's very heavy-duty. Does not take, like we tried to marble on it, and even though I washed it and dried it and used soda ash, it did not take the marbling. It's pretty ugly. So I'm using this up, and that's what I used on this. And the base for this is the same fabric. You can see it right there. It's the same fabric. This is a piece of flour sack towel that I sprayed to dye it, and I stitched that on each end. I just gathered it and stitched it on each end. So you can use anything you want as your base. Old pillowcase, old sheet. You can use cotton. I don't know if I would use wool, but if you have it and you want to do it that way, you can. You don't have to make it a long strip like this. You can make it square. You can make it rectangle. You can make it, you know, a 5x7 to go in an 8x10 frame, or a 5x7 frame. Just leave yourself a little edge, you know, to make sure that you have enough on the edge to put in a frame. Robin says she uses dollar store frames, and she hangs her little stitches up that way. So you can do whatever size you want, and you can do whatever length you want. The thing I like about the long, skinny ones is they fit almost anywhere. I mean, you can hang them on a door. You can hang them on a door jamb. You can hang them, you know, on a skinny wall next to a window. You can hang these anywhere because they're long and skinny. You can hang them in your bathroom. You can hang them in your bedroom. You can give them as gifts. Wouldn't this make a really nice gift for somebody? If you know their color scheme in their house, you could do this, and it's a great way to use up. If you're a fabric person and you haven't played with fabric in a while, it's a great way to use that up. So I spent several days, not, you know, 8 hours a day or anything, going through all of my fabric, and I separated all the bits and pieces into bags. There are small bags, there are packing bags, there are Ziploc bags, It doesn't matter what you put them in, however you store your fabric. If it's sorted by color, of course this doesn't belong in there. I think I got thrown in there by accident. Just grab a color scheme. If you want to work on blue, get blue. If you want to work on purple, get purple. If you want to work on green, get green. Whatever you have collected over your period of having fabric, collect it. If you don't have a lot of fabric, you can go to the thrift store and get shirts. Find shirts in the colors you want. Men's shirts, cotton shirts, you know, whatever you want. And decide on your base. I'm probably going to do another long one on that same fabric. Because it's a firm fabric. That's the only way it bends and it's flexible, but it's closely woven and it's heavy duty enough that it's not real floppy when you're working on it. You know, some fabric, it's hard to work on freehand because it's just too floppy, especially if you have a large piece. That's my experience. So I think my next one is going to be blues, and I have a ton of blues. I'm going to use that as a base, and it's still going to be really long like that one. And so if you want to join along, we're going to play around with different stitches. And if I have practiced a stitch and I want to do it so I do it correctly, if I look in this book and I can't figure it out, don't go buying this book. You don't have to. If I can't figure it out from this, I'm going to go find an Ariane Zurcher video, and I'll link it in whatever video I'm doing that day so that you can go watch her. Again, she's a left-hander. Or you can search the stitch on YouTube and lots of videos will come up with that stitch showing you how to do it. If I can't figure it out and I can't show you, or you can't figure it out from what I'm doing, then, you know, we'll go ahead and figure it out together, and we'll find a video on YouTube that shows it really well. This is how I learned to knit. I've crocheted forever and ever since I can remember. I don't even remember how old I was when I learned to crochet. I think crocheting is so easy because you're just in and out, in and out, in and out. Knitting is a whole different story. I drop a stitch every time and then I gotta go figure out how to save it, and it's just not as calming for me. Knitting is anxious for me. So this is a good little book. I did get this on Amazon. I will link it below. I'm not an affiliate, so if you want to find this book and play with it yourself, that's great. Sue Spargo has books. And get yourself some embroidery floss. Now, I have embroidery floss. Literally, most of this embroidery floss is probably 30 to 40 years old, because I was teaching my kids how to do cross stitch. My son is 43. Jeez, how'd that happen? And a lot of this thread I had when he was a kid, and he loved cross stitch. My daughter, not so much, but my son really liked it. He didn't keep it up, but he still remembers doing it. He talked about it the other day when he called me. Embroidery floss is not that expensive. You can buy kits on Amazon. This is a cheaper brand of embroidery floss. It's not DMC, but I will tell you, I actually had some of this floss. I was trying to do the green piece, and I had some of this floss shred as it was going through that heavier woven base fabric I was using. So just know that there's really good thread out there, and there's not so high quality thread out there. All of this is DMC, except these threads here I got in a kit in Michael's, and these are size, I believe they're size 8. They're called Prism. I'm trying to squish this down. Hold on. Let me see if I can find one that's easier to read. Prism, and this is Pear, and it is a size 8, so it's a little thicker. You don't separate these strands. There it is. so you don't separate those strands. And I really like using the size 8. I mean, it's really nice to use. It's probably not as thick as using all 6 strands of an embroidery floss. I usually use 3 strands when I'm doing anything. And I have a real affinity for variegated thread. Everything I've ever done, I've loved variegated yarn, variegated thread. I've always been attracted to it. So I was able to go to Michael's, and you can look for sales, or you can go to Joann's and find coupons, and look at the yummies I got there. All variegated. I picked up all variegated. Some of them I picked up 2 of because I liked it so much. So, yeah. And these blues here, blues and greens, I'll be using those. And I might use this. It's got some blue in it. And definitely use that because it's got some blue in it. So yeah, I'll be using some of these. And I love purples and blues and pinks together. So there's that one. So we'll see. But anywho's, between my 2 boxes, I do have 2 of these boxes. And I used to have them separated by number. Now I separate them by, or organize them by color. And this is just one of those photo boxes. I don't know if I'm out of space in my 2 boxes. I'm out of space, and I don't know if I want to buy a 3rd box or if I want to keep my threads like this, because when you wind them around here like this, I'll show you. Let me move this. When you wind them around, look at the kinks they get in them. That doesn't show when you're sewing with it, but I don't know if I want those, so we'll see. Anywho, I can't think of anything else to tell you other than if you want to join along, I don't know how many times a week I'll be doing this. You're welcome to work on your project yourself. I'm not trying, like Ariane does lots of videos, and she has a Patreon page. She has a new website, and she has classes that she's going to teach. I love her. I love her methods. I love her personality. I can't afford the classes, and it stinks, but I just can't afford the classes. One class, which I would really love to take, is $500. And yes, she does several hours over 5 days, but I can't afford it. That's just how it boils down. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with trying to learn yourself and, you know, doing what you want to do. And maybe we'll try and play with Dorset buttons. If anybody knows how to do Dorset buttons and you want to do a video on it, hit me up because I could use some help on that. Anne Brooke does a lot of, you know, she has a whole, last year she did the Sew for the Soul. I can't say it quickly. And she did the wall hanging snippet roll kind of thing. But she did not do hers so that when you hang it up, it's, you know, vertical. She did hers horizontally and wrapped it on a bobbin and keeps it wrapped up. I want to look at what I've done. I don't want it wrapped up in a roll. So, you know, it's up to you what direction you do it in, what shape you do it in. Just come along and join Robin and I, and let's do this. Anything else I can think of? If you have any questions, ask below in the comments. I will put stuff in the description box below. Just gather your bits and pieces. You don't have to have large pieces of fabric. Like I said, go to the thrift shop and tear up shirts. Buy blue jeans. You could use a blue jean leg as a base and, you know, do whatever you want with that. You could get lots of bases out of a big pair of blue jeans. And it doesn't have to be heavy fabric. It can be a sheet, an old tablecloth, whatever you want. So look around your house if you don't have a lot, but if you have old sheets and stuff that you've put away, you can take those out. You can use spray dyes like Tattered Angels, depending on what color it is. Now, if you have white, the Tattered Angels and that will show up really well. You could use fabric paints. You could use fabric markers. I have done, hold that thought. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. I have, oh, I don't have it out. I have done, I've taken cheesecloth. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. You can take him. Oh, where did I put it? Okay, I'll have to edit that part out of the video, I think. Sorry about that. I have taken, oh, it's not in here. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, I have some fabric that I've stamped. You can use that. This was the failed attempt at marbling that fabric. It did not work. I have taken cheesecloth. I've taken flour sack towel. I've taken white cotton like this, just white cotton. Oh, that's not it. That's something I printed. I've taken white cotton. I printed this from one of my doily kits, digital kits, and I printed it on fabric. So I thought, why not? I could use that too. But I've taken white cotton and dyed it. I'm sorry, I can't find the package right now. Oh. No, that's not it either. This is a bag full of like wipes and stuff that I've wiped up other things with. Here it is. You know, when I was doing gel prints and stuff, or spraying tattered angels, that's paper towel. Yes, you can use paper towel on these. You just tell people you give it to not to wash it. So here, I've used flour sack towel, and I have some cheesecloth in here, and I just used Tim Holtz sprays on this. Or you can even use your ink pads and put them on a piece of glass or plastic and spray them with water, and then just put your cheesecloth in there, and it soaks up the colors. So I don't know how color fast it's going to be. I don't know how long this will last. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But that's what I did with this, and I plan on doing more, because why not? Look how fun that is. I mean, some of it's grungy looking. Or buy Rit dye. You can buy Rit dye and do little bits at a time. This is tea stained fabric, and so you can do that. You can do you can cut circles, and I think I showed this. I don't know if I showed this or not on a previous video, but we'll do this. This is a Suffolk puff, or yo-yo, it's called in America. And then these are so easy, and they're so addicting. You cut out circles. You can use a die, and I just use my regular dies. If the fabric's thin enough, if it's just a cotton fabric, it will work. So I use a circle, and I use a folded method to make a hexagon. So this is just a circle, and you fold it over. So we'll do some of those, because those are fun to do. So whatever fabric you're going to use, whatever color scheme you want to use, we'll make some of those so that you can use those on it too. If you have trim like this, you have buttons, you have beads, you have lace, pull that out. And don't pull out a whole lot, but you have to pull out enough, because some just doesn't seem like it goes with others. You know, you have to pretty much feel it as you go along. I don't pull out things and then necessarily say, oh yeah, I'm going to use this no matter what. I mean, you know, if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. If you have little snippets you've done, little fabric snippets, or you have ruffles, you know, ruffles that are in that color scheme, pull them out. Make a little bucket with your color scheme stuff in it. And once you do that, then you're going to be able to sort of pick and choose. But if you have too many choices, I find that it doesn't work for me. If you want to pre-cut some circles, I would make them probably, it depends on what size you want your Suffolk puffs and yo-yos to be, but I have done all of these sizes. So this is, I can't seem to get the right measurements. This is like almost 2 3/4 across. This is like 2 9/10 or whatever it is, almost 3 inches. So here's what happens. I'll show you what happens. If you're going to make a hexagon out of this, you're going to fold it in half, then you're going to fold that, and then you're going to fold that to the center, and fold that to the center, and fold that to the center, and then you're going to fold this corner to the center, and you're going to fold that corner to the center and stitch it. So if you have a 3-inch circle, you're going to end up with about just a little over 1 1/4, almost 1 1/2 at the points, and 1 1/4 at the flat sides for a hexagon. If you're going to do a yo-yo, you're going to stitch it. You're going to stitch this edge under, right? And then pull. You're going to pull. When you get to the end, you're going to pull it and gather it. So all this is going to be gathered in. And you're going to end up with a yo-yo. So cut some circles if you want to cut circles. And don't throw that fabric away that you cut the circles out of. And you will be able to have the circles already done. Allows us to go ahead and make the Suffolk puffs and yo-yos. And if you already know how to make them, then you can skip that video if you want. So I think that's it. I've gone on for 32 minutes saying a lot of ums. It's been a long time since I did a video, so I apologize, because I know once you get out of the habit of having good habits for videos, you tend to fall back on those habits, bad habits again, when you get back to the videos. So I hope that you'll join Robin and I, and that you will, you know, shoot ideas out there for me if you want. I don't mind, you know, ideas and suggestions to say, can we try this or can we try that? If I can figure it out, great. If I can't, then we won't. But I'm not trying to steal any ideas from Anne, Brooke, or Ariane, or any of those people. I'm not trying to steal. I'm not charging for this. I'm not trying to do it for free because, you know, I don't think you should have to pay for it. I just want to do it because I want something to do. And I'd like the company. If you all want to come along and join in, that would make me really happy. And I know Robin's going to do it with me. So, and she asked me to start a video, like do it on video, because we all need help sometimes. We need help with stitches or ideas or inspiration. And so I'm just hoping to get this done and have some company doing it, like I said before. And I don't want to go off the edge of this. And to work on this together as time allows, and it'll be fun. You don't really need special needles, but when you buy a pack of needles, it will say embroidery on it, if some of them do. And if you want to, if you need new needles, go ahead and find them. You might need some pins, little straight pins to hold your choices of fabric on when you start, but you know, not always necessary. You could even use a little dab of glue to stick a piece of fabric where you want it. So just gather some stuff, come join me, let's have some fun. And like I said, you can shoot ideas down in the comments, And if you care to, I'd appreciate getting a like, hitting the thumbs up, because it's been a while since I've been on video. And if you can subscribe, that'd be great. I'd love to hit 2,000. My birthday is in a few days. It's Wednesday. And so I am going to turn 65. I think I'm going to turn this around and go back the other way. So yeah, it's almost my birthday and it'd be fun. I don't think I'll reach 2,000 by Wednesday, but it'd be fun to reach it this month since it is my birthday month. So I hope this finds everybody doing well. And if you're kind of stuck or you've been kind of in a slump or anything, then, you know, maybe it's time to do something different. That's what I'm doing. And if you'd like me to have a closer camera angle, I could probably, I got to figure out if this will work or not. Close your eyes, because I'm probably going to wiggle you or stick my arm in front of the camera. All right. So I can bring it in really close like this. I could bring it in even closer if you want, just so you can see what's going on and we can play around. So I hope you'll join me. If you don't, my feelings won't be hurt. It's not for everybody, and it is kind of a right turn from what I was doing as far as the journal stuff. And I understand that, you know, not everybody's interested in hand stitching. I just find a lot of peace in it, and I've needed that lately. So I hope you all take care and wish you all happy crafting. And like I said, if you want to shoot some comments, suggestions, questions, ideas down below, I'm open to them. It's okay with me. And I will see you back here as soon as I can get my stuff gathered and get my backing gathered and decide. We'll decide together. I'll show you how I decide what I want on my strip, and we'll take it from there. So thank you ever so much. I'm not going to stick my hands way in front of the camera and put you back up. Thank you very much for joining me. I love you all from my heart to yours, and stay well and stay healthy and enjoy your summer. And come back and join me if you want to. I'll talk to you soon. Hugs and love to everybody. Happy crafting. Bye.